Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our Facebook Live. My name is Susie Gazzi.
And my name is Viv Adcock. How are you today, Miss Susie?
I am wonderful, and thank you for being here. And actually, the two of us together, we're doing these little Facebook Lives slash YouTube Lives just to kind of create a little bit more awareness about the fact that you can actually ask questions when it comes to your animals, and you don't have to always rely on somebody's point of view. So
Yeah, and the thing I love about this is, asking the animals a question and creating that communication, the two-way communication, because animals do communicate. And the more you're willing to explore and ask the question and adventure with no foregone conclusion or somebody else's points of view, you actually find your own unique way of developing that relationship with your animals. So to me, it's like, well, what is more empowering than that? Yeah, of course, read your books and listen to your vet and whatever. But at the end of the day, that you know, and this is your animal. So, what a great journey to go on in regards to actually developing a deeper bond, a deeper connection, and a deeper understanding of each other and how you communicate.
yay.
And I
And
just have to
today,
say,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
just have to say, I found on
Oh,
Netflix last night, there's a great, and look, this might have been around for ages. I just kind of feel like I'm finding things on Netflix, but there's a great series called, and now I can't bloody remember it, something like The Secret Life of Your Pets or something like
mm,
that. And they're looking at, and in one episode, they look at like 5 or 6 different animals that are indicating their level of intelligence with the more you interact with them, and they've got birds, they've got rats, they've got lizards. It's not just your usual cat and dog. Yeah, there's amazing cat and dog stories, but just a totally different way. So I'll do my best to remember the name of that correctly, but have a look on Netflix. And it's something like The Secret Life of Animals or Secret Life of Your Pets.
that sounds
Sorry, Susie,
great.
go
No,
for
no,
it.
it's fine. No, we just it's funny because we both we picked a topic for today about dogs eating their own poop, and we both kind of were hoping each other had a lot of information about that. We're both like, no, I thought you had more information about this. But again, actually, this is the cool thing because as Viv was talking, I was literally just tuning into my dog Charlie, and I was going like, hey, why do dogs eat their own poop? And it was very funny because he was like, what? So what I realized is that, oh, wait a minute, so what is that when a dog starts eating their own poop? And well, there's a couple of things that I can sort of think about right off the bat. One is that there's something maybe missing in their diet, because one thing is, like, an animal will start eating something if they have a perception that there's something in there that is missing for their body. And so, a dog might go out and eat a certain grass. And even if that makes them throw up, like, what if that was a contribution to what was going on for them? Even if you think you're feeding them the greatest stuff in the earth or whatever. But also, like, when they're eating their own poop, what is it actually that they're after? And, and so it might be something to look at. Well, what am I feeding my dog? Because one of the things actually that I did hear is that some dog food nowadays is so highly processed that
Hmm.
all the taste enhancers that are in the food actually are still there when they're pooping it out. And
Wow.
so it smells like dog food. And so if you have a dog that is highly motivated to eat, it might literally just turn around and go, oh, this smells just like my food dish, sadly. So I'm just going to eat it again because why not? They don't have a point of view about eating their own poop.
Yeah, and you think about animals in the wild, how they would forage and have such a broad diet. They would have access to anything and everything, whereas our domestic dogs are in a very contained environment in a lot of ways. And so their bodies are very smart. They will look for minerals, a protein or something that's missing out of their diet. So if your dog is eating your poop, if your cat's eating its poop, if chicks, I don't know whether chickens would eat their poop, I don't know, but Ask the question, okay, is there something we can add to your diet? Is there something your body requires? And the other one I played with too, is there something we need to remove from your diet as well? Because you can get the best dog biscuits. And I did a lot of research. I'm not a big, massive fan of feeding biscuits. I will, or kibble, or whatever you call it in your country. But with the greyhounds, what we found when they first arrive is a lot of them are really emaciated. They're very malnourished and underweight. And biscuits is one of the things that they will really take to very easily. And if they're a good quality, they actually start to put on some condition and start to get some of the nutrients that have been so missing in their diet prior to us having them. So, again, it's about asking the question. And what I realized with the dog I have now is I would put the biscuits in with her meat. It's only taken me about a year to work this out. Because some days she'd be really voracious and eat them and then other days she'll eat them straight out of my hand. Other days she'll pick around them and pick the meat out and the vegetables and the gravy. And then I went, oh, why don't I just put the biscuits in a separate bowl? And now she has the choice rather than, and my partner's going, oh, she's such a fussy bloody dog. And it's like, yeah, she is a dog that has probably challenged us more with what she requires to eat, because all the dogs that we've had up until this point have just been, they'll eat anything that you put in front of them. I've never had a quote unquote fussy eater. And it's this dog is just showing me, and has from day one, she's shown me such a different way of being with her body, not because I think we kind of lump everything together. We see the animal as a whole thing rather than, no, what is it her body requires? What is it our bodies require? So for her to actually have the choice between having the meat and the vegetables and the biscuits, and then it's like, okay, do you want biscuits tonight? Do you want something else? Do you want something dry? Do you want, so, instead of getting into the routine of just opening the can of food or, doing the meat or whatever it is that you prefer to give to your dog, instead of just doing the same thing day in, day out, what if you start asking your animal and your animal's body the question? And even at the feed barn, if there's a new biscuit, if there's a new meat, if there's a new treat, what is it that your body would like? What is it your dog or your cat or whatever the animal's body, what is it they would like? Tune into them and let them talk to you as well while you're at the store.
Yeah. And one thing too, it's really looking at the quality of the food that you're feeding. What is it that you're putting in front of your animals? And I know there's a lot of variety of things out there, and there's a lot of manufacturers of dog food that are also using ingredients that maybe you don't wish to feed to your animal. There is a lot of fillers in dog and cat food that are made basically tasty, but really are not doing a lot for the nutrition. For example, the feet of chickens ground up. Well, it may taste good, but it's really just a filler nutritionally. Chicken feet really don't have a whole lot to offer. But at the same time, it's not that they're unhealthy, but it's just sort of have a look at what am I feeding my animal and educate yourself, and it's not about, oh, this is wrong. It's really more like, well, maybe it's worthwhile to educate yourself. Because one of the things too, just like with our bodies, if you are healthy and well, you feel better, you perform better, you have a happier life. Well, look at the same thing for your dog, or your cat. If they are feeling great because they're getting food that is actually nourishing them and that is, working for their body, then are they going to be a better performer, and are they going to be healthier in the long run, and that sort of thing. And again, this is not about making anything right or wrong. And please don't go into like, oh, I'm a bad person, I'm feeding my dog this or that. It's really more about, especially if you're having issues going on, like with your animal, have a look at the food too, because the food will play a role in all of that, so it's not always just, oh, let's work on the behavior. Well, let's look at everything, what is going on here and what's happening.
It's funny, a funny story just jumped to mind too, Susie. Just give me 1 second, sorry. I was trying to work out what was going on with my dog because she has quite a sensitive stomach, and we're very clear with what we feed with her. We've managed to work out what works really well. And she was still having these tremendous bouts of diarrhea out of nowhere, and I couldn't work out what was going on. Anyway, what I realized the other day was my partner went over to the neighbor to borrow something, and he said, "Oh, Bella's been trotting around here and eating the food that I leave out for the farm dog next door."
Ooh.
And I'm like, little cheeky monkey, how? Because we let her out, you know, she usually just goes out for a wee and comes back in. And at night, I've noticed she's been disappearing for just a few minutes, and I'm having to call her back. And it didn't even occur to me that, you know, last thing at night, she'd be round at the neighbour's eating the food that he puts out for the neighbour's dog, because he doesn't have his own dog anymore. And that's his way of having some bonding time. So I'm like, okay, now, thank you. I've got the information I was asking for, you know, because I was scratching my head going, what else is she eating? And with that curiosity of what else is she eating, he's going, oh, ho, 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 Bella's coming around and eating the other dog's food. I'm like, right, I've got it now. So she's just dobbed herself in. She won't be going over there anymore.
Well, the other thing is too, like I've heard people say this over and over, like, oh, dogs or animals are so smart, you know, they will never eat something that would be bad for them. Well, that's not true, actually. Please, guys, forget about that altogether. You know, it really is not true. If something tastes wonderful and smells wonderful, the animal might eat it, even if it's poisonous. Please, you guys, don't go from the conclusion that your animals are smart enough to only eat what's great for them. You know, really not. Please don't buy that lie. But that's also why, for example, you know, if they do eat their poop, yes, it could be something is missing in their diet. But one other thing could also be, for example, you know, and that could be important. We haven't really talked about this in one of these shows, but there is also the possibility that your animal has another entity in it. So basically, the possibility that, you know, your dog has another animal in it also, that is just another spirit, so to speak, that is living in the same body. Now, if that other spirit is anything other than a carnivore, that might also start creating some digestive problems or the urge to eat something that your dog may not normally really desire. So just another thing to look at, and we'll do a show on entities all by themselves, because it's a really actually pretty cool topic to be aware of. But this could just be something to have in your question repertoire, you know, if you have something going on. Well, is this entity related? Is there something else that's going on here with your animal? If they're showing a behavior that's really not dog-like, you know, and really truly eating their own poop is not animal-like. Usually, you know, animals don't turn around and eat their poop. That is really not something they would normally, quote unquote, do. So there is something going on with that, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, and that's again where I love the tools of Talk to the Animals, where you actually learn the art of asking questions if this is a totally new concept to you, because mostly people try to find answers. You know, it's all about finding the right answer and getting the right answer and taking somebody else's probably good meaning suggestion. But if you make that a conclusion, or you try and fit that to your particular situation, you could miss the vital information and the clues that the animal's body is actually trying to give you. So this is the gift of asking the question and developing that skill for yourself, developing that muscle to be able to ask them a question and listen, actually receive what it is that they're communicating to you. It transforms your relationship on every level. So my partner's just written down on a piece of paper, it's called The Hidden Lives of Pets on Netflix.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah. Fascinating.
That's awesome.
Absolutely fascinating.
Awesome. Thank you, Viv.
Susie. Another great conversation.
I wanted to actually just throw in one more thing with this whole poop eating. Please also don't ever be afraid to let your animal know when you are not approving of something, okay? There's never anything wrong with a loud no when they're doing something that you really absolutely are not, you know, approving of. And even though your animal may not completely stop the behavior, but if you are actually really, at the moment they turn around and they go for their own poop, if you have a really loud yell, no, and you just remove them from the area without anger, but just really letting them know, hey, no, at least then they know, oh, this is a behavior that my person is not approving of. Okay, cool. may not stop it completely, but some animals may actually, at least not in your presence, go do it right away, but maybe do it while you're not watching, which again, then, still asking lots of questions, but at least they know that you're not like, yay, go for your own poop.
And then don't let them come and lick you.
Oh yeah, good one. Or do, I mean, hey, whatever works.
Thank you, Susie. Great conversation.
Thank you, Viv.
And we welcome you to join us next time. We'll have another interesting topic to discuss and play with and explore. Thanks, everybody.
Right. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.